Well, good morning, PV family and friends. My name is Daylan Moore, and I'm one of the ministers on staff at Pleasant Valley, and I want to welcome you to Second Cup. This Second Cup is a mini devotional that is designed to bring hope and encouragement to you wherever you are in the midst of your week. And so I'm excited that you are joining us today. I have my second cup with me actually. It's actually a cup of white milk. I have to be cautious with what I drink in the morning times because oftentimes in the morning I deal with some of the anxieties that I have about the day. They just all flood seemingly in the morning. It impacts a lot of things about me, and so I have to be cautious what I drink. I make sure I don't have too many lights on. I love to sit in some calmness with just a few lamps on in the morning. And I don't know about you, maybe you can relate to that, maybe you can't. But I hope that this series of mini devotionals and Second Cup has been very impactful for you, comforting and helpful for you. I want to start off this morning by asking a question that you might think the answer is so self-explanatory, so easy. I want to ask you, what is a breath? If you had to describe what a breath is, what is the breath? If maybe a kid in your neighborhood came up to you, or maybe one of your own kids or a niece or a nephew came up and asked you, what is a breath? How would you describe that to them? I want to kind of help us, guide us along this morning with that, and with a couple games I love to play. I call them games. You might not call them games, but the first game I love to play is when I go to the grocery store and I come back. I love to see how many groceries I can keep at one time that I can hold in my hand in order to come on up the stairs, because I'm not trying to make multiple trips back and forth. And as I come up all the 3 flights of stairs to our apartment, as I get up here panting and huffing and puffing, and I drop those groceries, there's something about that. The other game I like to play is when I'm driving. Haven't been doing that much lately, but when I'm driving and I have my gas and it is on E, or it's close to E, or I love to play this game of how far can I go on this amount of gas. And when I'm going from meetings to classes to different things, I love to see how far I can go on E. And with both of those games that I love to play, the thing that I need, besides getting gas, besides dropping off the groceries, the thing that I need the most is to breathe, because I'm so overcome with all of the circulation that's probably cutting off when I'm carrying the groceries up, or so overcome with anxiety about can I make it to the next destination because I'm almost running on E. The thing that I need the most is to just breathe deeply, to relax, to take a load off. And I think that to breathe is to be human. To breathe is to do the thing that we were made to do. And I think that one of the ways that we can tap into our breath, one of the things that I've been learning more of here, especially during this pandemic, is to breathe more deeply. For when we reconnect with our breath, there is something holy that happens. We connect more fully with the Spirit of God, I think, and not in some hokey or fluffy way, but I think that we connect more with the Spirit of God in a very real and grace-filled manner. And maybe it's just me, but I have a hunch that oftentimes the varying demands, the hurts, the losses, the responsibilities that we carry on a daily basis can be like carrying an unreal amount of groceries up to my apartment. It can be so burdensome. We can be needing that next relief, just like I carry all those groceries up and I'm searching for that next breath, that next relief, that next breath. That breath was within me the whole time if I were to just tap into it. And I wonder if we would be less burdened, less boggled down with the hurts of our world, with shame. I wonder if we would be less anxious about the future, or have less fear about the future, if we would just tap into the breath that has been within us the whole time. I really love that. It's interesting that one of the word used for spirit throughout the scripture is a word that many recall or point to the same thing that they refer to as wind and breath. It's interesting because the writers of the scripture and the people of God throughout ages have connected the Spirit of God with the breath of God and with our breath. And every time we tap into our breath, every time we tap into that is within us, we become more in tune with the Spirit of God. We become more in tune with our identity as people filled with the Spirit of God. One of my friends, Rachel Yoshimura, loves to say that being a child of God is not just a feeling, it is a fact. And Paul in the scriptures talks about how the Spirit of God joins with our spirit to testify, to affirm to us that we are children of God, and that's a fact. One of the most helpful things is to do things like breath prayers to remind ourselves that what we believe in our head on the cognitive level is true in our walking around lives, that God is with us, that God is for us, that He's actually closer than our next breath. So I want to encourage you today to realize that God is with you, that God is for you, that God is closer than your next breath. God is actually the breath within your breath. So would you take a moment to pause, to realize, maybe to look around, tune into the sounds of creation, or the person, the people that you're talking with, or maybe to your own self, and realize that your heartbeat, your breath, your very being is being empowered by God. So maybe right now, if you would put in the comment section, maybe one thing or one person that you are able to reconnect more in this season that maybe you haven't had the opportunity to do in times past, because the Spirit of God is allowing you to be aware of that power and that comfort that is already within you. What is one thing or one person that you've been able to reconnect with more fully that you maybe haven't had to? So I want to tell you, thank you for joining us today with Second Cup, and I hope that you have a blessed day, because you are a beloved daughter and a valued son, and God is with you, and God is for you.